Hello and welcome to Designed By, a special here on Jewellery Maker, where we get inspired and hopefully give you the opportunity to create something very, very special. We have the luxury of having the company of the fantastically inspiring Sheila, our resident designer.
Hello, Vicki.
Well, I have to say to you, today is very exciting in terms of the selection of gemstones and then the creation that you're going to lead us through. Because the whole part of this special is literally to take us step by step to creating a feature piece of jewellery.
Yes, it is, yes. And I think the colours in this particular piece they're so spring-like, aren't they, and summery and beautiful colours.
And I think in principle, when you start to see the start of this design, for a lot of people it might be quite overwhelming because you go, well, I don't think I could do that. You know, that looks incredibly intricate. It looks very, very detailed. Oh, you know, I don't think I could step into that yet. But actually, break it down.
Absolutely, yes. It is basically the ladder weave, just with some extra topping.
And the topping is a delight, and it is literally like kind of frosting of these beautiful clear quartz.
Yes, it is. It is just a crisscross over the top of the ladder weave.
I just love this.
But it's really effective. Incredibly effective.
And I think you're right in saying it's probably worth us talking about the actual qualities of colour that you get within this combination. Yes. 3 strands of deliciously springtime-inspired colours.
Yes.
Gemstones that I think have individual merit, but then put them together, and what a blend.
And also with that particular design, you have to make sure that you've got some smaller, tiny gemstones, which we have in the quartz there. To actually go over the top, because they have to crisscross over. So that's the tip that you need if you're going to make that with any of your stash. You need your smaller gemstones for the top. Yeah.
I think in principle what we're trying to do here is actually offer you what you need. So you don't have to look into your stash. We're actually going to give you the ease of doing it for you. You know, this is giving you the right size, giving you the right colours, and then giving you the inspiration to then go into it straight away and break it down for you. So let's show you what you've got here. I think in principle calling it Lavender Hills is perfect, because it really does sum up the beautiful freshness, the tranquility of those lavender tones that mix with those fantastic springtime textures. Here you've got a complement of those lovely minty fresh greens of your shell pearl. These are 8mm, delightfully shimmering. The way the light moves off the surface of each one of these shell pearl really just create an incredible desirability and a real, almost ethereal-like quality. It shimmers, it moves in the light so beautifully. Well, talking about ethereal, well, the sparkle, the shimmer of something extra special, like pixie dust, where you've got there the dancing of the light of your clear quartz. Now, these are your 3mm seed beads. These are faceted to add that delight to the eye of light luster, and you really do have that complement instantly of textures, of light play, where you've got the movement, which is called the orient of a pearl, and then you've got the luster, that's the surface shine of the clear quartz. We're going to add one more, and this is where the lavender really does kick in. This is your Lavender Hills collection, and you can't have a Lavender Hills collection without the lavender qualities of amethyst. And this is a gemstone that I know for a lot of people we just can't get enough of right now into our stock list. It's got that softness of tone, it's got a delicate femininity, almost Parisian in its sophistication, an elegance that really will work beautifully as a solo gemstone for your jewellery creations, or work it alongside this 3 strands. Really do work so very well together. This is your Lavender Hills collection, designed by Sheila, inspired to create feature jewellery, as we're going to take you step by step within this little special, and your chance to get this offer, 3 strand feature, for just $15.95. We are talking here £5.32 a strand. £5.32, and you're talking about gemstones that have individually desired qualities about them, individual attributes that when put together seamlessly flow together. You really do have that beautiful springtime look. And if you are looking for jewellery that's going to inspire the spring, and my goodness, we need some inspiration right now, don't we? You've got that here, £15.95. You can join us on the phone lines 0800 644 655, or you can join us on the web at www.JewelleryMaker.com. £15.95. Now I'm going to pick this feature bracelet up because This is where we're going to really focus on attention onto this very piece of jewellery that you've created, Sheila. And the attention, as you say, to detail is what makes this such a successful piece.
Yes, it is. It's almost like layering, really. You know, you actually make your bracelet first, and then you layer over the top of it with your tiny seed beads.
And if it's okay, I'm going to just flick it to the back first, because I think that you're quite right in saying if you want to look at the layer, it might be worth us showing you the undercarriage, as it may be. Take a look. You can see instantly there you have the ladder weave, and I mean, really, that would look very pretty just like that, wouldn't it?
Yes,
a very effective complement of colours and tones and texture as well.
Very much so. I think the colours are lovely, aren't they? I mean, the world's your oyster with gemstones, isn't it? You know what you use. But I think with spring and summer coming, you know, it's a must, isn't it, really?
I think it's here.
It is here.
I think it's just hiding behind winter a little bit. But you never know. You never know when it's going to come. And I will say, I think it's definitely going to be released by the beauty of this piece. I mean, before I put it down, do you mind if I just...
No, of course I don't.
I'll model it, because that's when you really see. It has almost a 3D effect as well when you've added that extra layer.
It's almost like ice on the top, isn't it?
Isn't it?
You know, you sort of want to go, ooh.
Beautiful.
It looks very, it's got that sort of edge to it, hasn't it?
Dynamic.
Yes,
very dynamic.
I love the layering of it, and the way that the gemstones sit on the top.
Yes, just as a final flourish.
Yes.
So we're going to start off and literally do this as a step-by-step project. So I wonder if it's worth me putting that there so that we've already got that as our finished article, and we know what we want to achieve by the end of it. And so how do we begin?
Well, you start off, obviously you'll need quite a generous length of your beading thread.
Okay.
And I've put 3 pearls on, and then the amethyst.
Beautiful.
Okay. So because that amethyst there needs to sit in the middle there, and that will sit all along your bracelet.
Okay.
Okay. So what we do then, we just go across and go through your amethyst and then pull it. This is just the basic ladder weave technique. Okay. And then as you can see, that's the start there. Beautiful. Of the bracelet.
And almost like a quadrant, but you're using the smaller amethyst at one of the points.
Yes, and then just add on then, all you do, you've got 2, the pearl on either side. You'll just see how it builds up now. So you've got pearl on each side and then an amethyst. And that is what you do all the way along your bracelet, so until you get the desired length.
You progress with that in the same pattern.
Yes, exactly. It's very, very easy, and especially for anyone that's that's sort of been jewellery making a short time, and then they want to progress onto something just a little bit more intricate.
And Sheila, does it matter if when you're placing your beads onto the thread itself, does it matter whether you go one side or the other?
No, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter whether it's left or right. It still falls the same.
Okay, so it doesn't. You don't need to worry by threading it left to right or right to left. It doesn't matter. The same principles are there.
Yes,
absolutely. That place them onto the strand, bring them together, and you'll get the same result.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Okay.
It really doesn't matter, and it's quite a therapeutic technique, because it's easy. You can just be thinking about what you're going to cook for your meal at night, and you can still be doing this at the same time. So as you can see, that's all it is.
Can I hold that up? Would that be okay, just to see? So that's the start. And for those of you who are just starting to learn, as you say, as Sheila so rightly said, just starting to begin beading and threading, could be known as the quadrant, sometimes known as the ladder weave.
Yes, I think it just depends whatever you want to call it, really. You can call it something of your own if you want to, really. But that is basically all you do from the start of your bracelet to the end of your bracelet.
So that's how we would progress. Follow the same pattern. You've got your pearls in, bring it together with the amethyst.
Shall I do another couple more?
Let's do one more, and then we definitely know that we've got that solid. This is the essential. This is the foundation, isn't it?
It doesn't matter whether you turn it up that way or turn it up that way. It's still exactly the same. Just one left and right of the pearl, and then your amethyst and crossover, and that is it until you come onto the next layering section.
Yes.
Okay. So if we put another one on. And as I say, for anybody that's not done any jewellery making before, it is just, and it's a lovely feature to say. If people say, oh, that's beautiful, and you say, I've made that, and you know that you haven't been making jewellery for very long, it's quite an impression, isn't it?
I do think because it looks quite complicated, but actually when you break it down, it becomes very simple.
Yes, and I think, you know, jewellery making, it is all about layering of different techniques, isn't it?
Yes, of course, and utilising them and adapting them and then being inspired by them to transform into a totally different look altogether.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we are. So as you've seen, I've just gone with the same procedure all the way up.
So we're now at the point where we can just continue on that same pattern.
Continue on that same pattern.
And we would eventually get to a point where one presumes that we're at the length that we're happy with.
Well, that's just the one I've just done. That's another one where I've carried on even a little bit longer.
Perfect.
And then so you would do, obviously measure your wrists first and see just how long you do need it to be, because obviously all the sizes are different with us all. So if we put that to one side then, and then this is an extended length of what I've just done.
How gorgeous is that?
And then what you do then is you attach some monofilament, because you will need monofilament because you're taking it through that gemstone in the middle twice more. So don't use beading thread because it will be too, and it's also much more delicate with the monofilament.
Okay, so we're now at the point where we've done the full section. I'm just showing you the reverse, but obviously flip that and we know where we're at. But this is, so you've done the full section.
I've done the full section.
You've got to the full length. Now, in terms of length of bracelets, I normally say average width of a wrist is around about 7.5 to 8.
Yes, I was just about to say that, yes.
So for those of you who want to measure for the first time, I mean, if you're making it for yourself, obviously you've got your own wrist to measure on. If you're making it for somebody else and you don't know, then the good news is that the average, I would suggest, is between 7.5 to 8.5 variant, obviously, but that's kind of perspective that I would give. Out of interest, if it was too long or too short, if you will make it for somebody else, you would be able to break it. Well, it's jewellery making, you can do whatever you want, can't you?
You would really, if you're making it for anybody, then obviously ask what the size of the wrists are, but we do have the bracelet trays, which has got a variation of sizes on there, so, but I mean, people can measure the wrist and then, but I mean, it is, I mean, this, as sort of detailed as this is, you would want to make sure that you've got your size, the right size, really.
Specific.
Yes, specific size.
Now, we've got the foundations. Now we're about to put the frosting on, aren't we?
Yes.
This
now,
beautiful,
this is done
frosting.
in 2 sections. You go across one way first.
Ah,
so
right, okay.
So what I'm going to do now, you do all the way to the end of the bracelet.
Fine.
So I've now added some monofilament. I've put a little bit of a knot there just to stop it coming through, because what I would like to do is take all of this across and then come back again.
And what you've said is that you've used monofilament so that because you have to go basically through...
You do, yes.
Through the holes twice.
Yes, you have to go through them twice. So I've put 5 of the quartz on, okay?
Yes.
Now what you do is you take your thread through the amethyst, because that is the centre, that is the bead there that you're going to take it through. And then if I take that through the amethyst, you can see it coming out there, monofilament is so, and then you then pull that, and then that goes over, and that's all it is.
Wow. Look at that.
So you do that all the way along. I'll do another couple, move those a bit nearer.
So then you're going to put another 5 on.
So I'll put 5 on here. I've lost my end. Get my
further
end back.
5.
There we go. A further 5. So that's 1. I mean, obviously, depending on the size of your gemstones, if, you know, say if you did eventually make another one after you'd made this one, then just sort of, sometimes it might be 7 depending on the size of your gemstones. And then all you do is just take this same, it's so simple that it's the same procedure all the way through. Like it was the same procedure on the first layer of the bracelet, and it's exactly the same now. So I will do a few more just so we can show, and then I can show you how you come back then. So again, it's always through.
And you're going up and down.
I'm going up and down, exactly.
And that's specific, we want to take it up and over.
Yeah, you want to take it
through.
Up and over. Let's make sure that it'd be better with the black. There we go. There we go.
Can I stop you there, Sheila?
Yes.
And halfway down, it's just so that we can see you're going through.
So I'm going, so if you just let me pull that through,
yep.
You can see, and your finger and your thumb. So all it is, it's because you can't see the monofilament, it's a bit difficult to, but just make sure that you've pulled it over, that it doesn't get caught.
There we go.
There we go. Oh, hang on, where's that gone there?
And in some ways, I mean, you look at that and you kind of go, well, you could just leave it like that if you just wanted to do a single cross.
Well, yeah, I have done that. I think, yes, I have done that many, many times. But it is literally that same procedure all the way along. And then what you do after you've done that, you just crisscross back over.
And when you crisscross, do you do that in the opposite direction?
Yes.
So do you go down to up and back through the amethyst the opposite direction?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So it is. This is a little bit that's the sort of time-consuming bit, because they're so tiny, the gemstones, but they look so beautiful.
Yes, the
when
detail.
When you actually get
and
there
so
and find the hole.
I'd progress all the way across.
Yeah, all the way along.
Okay, and when I got to the end, I'd literally,
just
you're going to show us
again,
now, turn back, how we turn back.
I'll do, what shall I do, another one after this? And then it'll, or should we turn back now?
No, that's good. No, that's
okay?
Because it's always good to make sure that we understand exactly where it needs to be.
See, now, as your thread gets shorter,
yes,
you won't have to, but just make sure that when you pull it, there we go. So you always go through the amethyst.
So pretty. So now we're going, we've got that movement, and again, it is literally just going to be a little bit of a labour of love to get it.
Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is. Yes, it is just a you know, you can sort of sit there. Yeah, takes you into another zone, doesn't it?
A little bit of a
jewellery making. Yeah.
Very cathartic for a lot of people, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. I mean, I love it. I'm so glad I have my job, so yes. You are.
Yeah, very
so
lucky,
there we go. So there's 5 on now, and then just take that through the lavender, the amethyst again, lift it up. I'll move that over there out the way so it won't get caught. With monofilament, it has a life of its own, doesn't it?
And as you said so rightly, the further across you go, the shorter the monofilament becomes, and the less fiddly it obviously doesn't get in the way as much, one presumes.
There we go. There it is. Catch the end of it. Make sure you don't get it tangled up with your... There we go. So that is... Oops. There we go. That is it. I've got to put that back underneath now because I caught that, but... So that is really all you do. Let me just pop that back through there.
And once we're at that point, and out of interest, in terms of the length of the monofilament, if you didn't have enough, could you stop when you got to this end?
Say if I got halfway through and I thought, oh, this really isn't going to be long enough.
Yes.
Then just get halfway.
Yes.
And then just thread your thread back through a few gemstones so it secures it.
Okay.
And then just start again. Leave a little bit of a sort of a strand there so you can tie it.
Brilliant.
But no, there isn't any reason why you can't do that.
Perfect.
No.
So you've got that option.
You've got that option as well.
So now we've gone all the way across.
Say if I'd finished.
Yes.
Okay. So I'd be going, say I'd got to the end there. Imagine that there is the end of the bracelet. Where are we there? Okay. So
yes.
I'm sort of, so then what you do is then, you have to, say if that's the end, that there would be the end of the bracelet. So then take that through the amethyst again, which will bring us then on the top section.
So you're just bringing it through to then
just bringing it through to then, and then I'm going to go. Oh, I've gone. I should have gone through that one. Let me undo that one there. Just take that back.
It was quite good because we could see where you were going there, though. So that's as long as we know which angle we're going at.
Yeah. No, I went through the wrong one.
So we're going in the opposite direction, though.
We need to take that back up there. There we go. But if I was at the end, I would take it back up through one of those, take it round and through again. Okay. Okay. So now we're just going to put 5 on again and cross over the other way. Let me move some of these here.
We're literally just repeating now, aren't we?
Yeah, it really is quite a... I think I did this, oh gosh, a few years ago, and I loved it. I did it in a gold and black, and I loved it so much. I've got a couple of them myself.
Ah, really?
Yeah, yeah. So all you do now is just pop.
And you're keeping the same quantity, 5, yeah?
Exactly the same quantity, yes, 5. You would think that it would be more, wouldn't you, really? But no, there is 5 on that one, yes.
So you just keep on adding and adding.
Just keep on adding and adding.
And it's interesting that you've got, you know, on one strand, so many, they're going to go so far. You know, because it feels like that's a lot of gemstones to go on, and actually
just
the
about
strands go so far.
Yeah, I mean, this bracelet is a little bit longer for me, so really I did have just the right amount. And then what you do then is take that over and then pop it through the amethyst again, and then it gives you that crisscross.
Look at that, just like that. So it's the exact repeat.
It's the exact repeat. There we go, look. Just pull it together.
Just do that so that we can see. Can you see that there?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So now we'll carry on to the end. Now what you do when you do get to the end, which you'll then add your clasp, but you do that. I do mine afterwards, because if I add it on before, I want to make sure that I've secured the monofilament down and threaded the monofilament back through this bracelet and then tied it off in the middle. It just gives it that extra bit of security. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you want your jewellery to look good, but also be wearable. You don't want to be too delicate. You don't want to be too precious about your jewellery. You just want to get on with your day and know it's going to look pretty and wearable.
That's absolutely right. And the ladder weave itself is quite a sturdy technique to do. So go on through. Always have there we go. This is why you do need a gemstone for that centre section there where you go through, that has got rather a generous hole in it.
Yes, I was just going to say the size of that probably will make a difference then, eh?
Nearly there.
So the same principles, exactly the same, but in reverse.
Exactly
to then do the
same.
cross back over.
Yes. There we go.
Beautiful.
So it does. It gives a lovely effect, doesn't it?
I just think the clear quartz is fantastic. Just such a beautiful, and what I like about the clear quartz is it takes on board the colours that it sits against.
And because it's faceted, it sparkles so much, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly.
It really does. So
it does have that potential to almost harness the greens and the lavenders and illuminate them even more. You know, with the radiance of the luster.
It's quite Audrey Hepburnish, isn't it?
No, it is very.
Looking at it, yeah, just like that's come loose because I haven't secured it yet. So if we just pop that one through there then, and then we're nearly there to sort of maybe show how you can sort of finish this off before you put your clasp on. I was just going to say, because we're now at the point where we know that it's now a repeat business of continuing to create your crosses, but now perhaps it's a case of now knowing how to secure and add the clasp. Yes. Just see if that'll go through. Why won't that go through? You see it, Vicki?
As you say, no, not yet. As you say, the thing is with monofilament, you just need to keep on playing with it for it to then.
Well, no, this did happen to me yesterday, and what I forgot to say is that just make sure that your gemstone hasn't got any sort of bit of dust in it or anything, because it's taking 3 strands through.
Yes.
Because there's that for some reason.
So if you are watching and perhaps you're at the same point, before you get started, maybe it's worth having a check of the size of your holes, especially of the lavender amethyst.
I think the holes are okay. I think it's just maybe got a little bit of, maybe the thread that's gone through has caused a little bit of dust in there or something.
Right.
But that is exactly what you do, exactly the same, and then you would go in through there, finish it off, and then that will be finished.
Fantastic. So there you have it. There's your crosses, and you just continue along the way. Now, once we're at that point, we're ready to secure and
we're ready
add the
to
clasp.
secure. And then what you would do then, when this is finished and you've come right to the very end, then just take your thread,
yes,
and start threading it through the pearls and down the amethyst, through the pearls and doon the amethyst, so it just secures it in the middle.
Once more, you're giving that
and
security.
then I've tied this in the middle here.
Gosh, so you do quite a long way
you
there.
do, yes you do.
So tell me again, you go through, so you get to the end.
You get to the end there.
Yes.
If we move this over a little bit.
So we get to the end.
So imagine that's the end there.
Yep.
And then you start to take your thread just back through the pearl, down into the amethyst again, and just secure it. And then maybe just to there.
Gosh.
And then so it is a bit of a, you know, it can take you a little bit of time, but it doesn't take you that long.
Right.
Because the pearls will also take the monofilament too, because there's a generous hole in the pearls.
So when I get when I've weaved and weaved and weaved to take the thread back to give it security, do I then
just
knot
tie a
it?
knot?
Right.
Just tie a knot.
Okay.
And pull it really tight. Do 2 or 3, and then just snip it. Pop a little bit of nail varnish on.
Okay, great.
Clear nail varnish, and then you will end up with your bracelet. And then what I've done there, because I find it easier to add it on afterwards, I've just put some thread. I'll take these off now. So that was the bracelet before, and I've just put some thread through here. Okay, and then just pop on 3 of the amethyst on either side.
3 on each side?
Is it 2? Sorry.
Oh no, just wanted to check.
2. No, sorry, that's my mistake. Sorry.
So 3.
No, just 1 on either side. Sorry, that's my mistake.
So we have one on each side.
Yeah.
In total, we're using 3.
In total, we're using 3. Yes. Yeah. There we go. And then just put one with both of the strands through the amethyst. And then you are then in a situation then to put on your crimp bead and just secure that so it sits properly. So you could put one on one side, one on the other, and then both of the strands through the middle. So in total, you're using just 3. You're using 3, yeah. And then make sure that it sits properly. Okay. Okay. And then pop on your crimp bead. Let me snip these ends here, just so that we haven't got too longer length. There we go. Then pop on your crimp bead. Your mini tube. Your mini tube. There we go. And then pop on your clasp. And then pop one of the strands back through your crimp bead. Make sure that your clasp is the other side of the crimp bead. Okay. And then just pop that through. Have to manoeuvre it a little bit. And then you're going through the first bead as well. I've also gone through the very first bead as well. Just to add that security again? Yeah, just to add that security. Okay. And then make sure that you've got your strands pulled so that they're sitting correctly. I tend to pull them down and then do that with them. That tends to sit them a little bit better. There we go, move that out of the way. And then just fasten it then with your flat nose pliers and then pop on a crimp bead cover. Just like that. And snip off your excess ends. And that's how you get the finished end, and then you would do the same on the other side. And then just I didn't put a crimp bead cover on there, but that's what I would do. Real quality finish, isn't it? Real quality. The beauty of your Lavender Hill Collections creation, designed by Sheila, is just £15.95. Don't forget that within that you're getting the most breathtaking of gemstones mixed together, a palette of springtime. You've got your lavender amethyst faceted rounds in your 6mm. You've then got your feature shell pearls in these beautiful, fresh, almost minty fresh qualities in the 8mm, shimmering away, and then just to dazzle and add that frosting on the top. Definitely a frosting. It is a frosting. You've got your faceted rounds, and those are your clear quartz. Gorgeous combination. How about that? £5.32 a strand. Absolutely magnificent. There's the feature bracelet that you could be creating with this Designed By special. Hopefully you've enjoyed and have been inspired, and perhaps this is just the beginning. This is where you get the inspiration and you start to run with it. You know, I presume once you've got an idea like this, you can do a whole necklace in it if you want to. Exactly. You can do a little pair of earrings to match. You know, you can do a pendant feature doing that as well. That's it. So you've done the cross. You could do a zigzag. You could do a single wave. Yeah.
Lots of different perspectives that you could create. An amazing opportunity. I hope you've enjoyed that. Designed by Sheila.
Thank you,
very,
Vicki.
very special. And it's been great to have your company. Hope you enjoy creating this jewellery.
Bye-bye.